Hey guys, it's Nick, and it's Stanley Cup Bracket Challenge time. Yes, it's that time of year, and it's time to make a bracket. So I made a bracket challenge where you guys can join as well by doing your own bracket to join in for the fun to try and see if you can predict the Stanley Cup winner. So I'm going to have the link to that challenge down below in the comment section as the pinned comment and also in the description section so you guys can join the bracket challenge. So I hope you guys enjoy watching me do my bracket, and let's get into it. Okay, it's bracket picking time for the Stanley Cup playoffs. As you see, this is how the bracket challenge works on the NHL website. So I'm going to start off with the Western Conference here because the Blackhawks are in the West. And I will go down from the first seed bracket, which has the Hawks in it, all the way down to the fifth seed bracket, which ends in the Canucks. Same here with the East, but I'm going to start off with the West, then I will go to the East for the first round. Okay? So let's start off with Blackhawks versus Golden Knights. I have to pick the Hawks here. I honestly think the Hawks' youth and speed and somewhat experience with Taves, Kane, Keith, and Crawford could help the Hawks beat out the Vegas Golden Knights. It could go the distance here, but I do have the Hawks beating the Golden Knights here. You'll see me pick how many games it will be after I have the bracket set up and showing who wins the Stanley Cup. Then I choose how many games it takes. Right here, Colorado versus Arizona. I like Colorado in this round. I think they will beat out Arizona pretty easily. So basically how it will sit, Hawks will have to play Colorado because we are the 8th seed. Colorado is the 2nd seed if we do move on. Next round, well, the same round, but Dallas versus Calgary, the 6th seed versus 3rd seed. I like Calgary in this one. And no, we won't be playing Calgary because they're the 6th seed, we're the 8th seed. You'll see it will update here in a second. I do like Calgary. I think they have a better, they have the team to move on pretty far. I had them going to the conference. I actually had them winning the conference last year. I like their roster build, and I think they have a good team to go far into the playoffs. St. Louis versus Vancouver, two teams I really do not like that much. I like Vancouver's roster build. I just used to not really like Vancouver back in the early 2010s. St. Louis, I just don't like, and they do have a good roster. They won the Cup last year, so they are good. But when they went into the round robins, St. Louis just seemed like they did not look like they wanted to do much to win. And I'm picking Vancouver to upset the St. Louis Blues. So in the second round, it will be Colorado versus Chicago, Vancouver versus Calgary. Not bad rounds, I feel like. So we now go over to the Eastern Conference for the first round. Philadelphia versus Montreal. Philly won the first seed from the round robin. Montreal defeated Philadelphia's rival, the Pittsburgh Penguins, in the qualifier. I don't think Montreal will continue their underdog run. I am picking the Philadelphia Flyers there. And it's a rematch of last year's first round between Tampa Bay and Columbus. Should be a good rematch here because I think Tampa Bay will come out steaming after they know what happened to them last year, getting swept after winning the President's Trophy. I am picking the Columbus Blue Jackets to move on again past Tampa Bay. Sorry, Tampa fans, but I think Columbus has your guys' number, so I'm going with Columbus in this series. Oh, here's a good one. Battle of Barry Trotz, because Trotz used to coach Washington, then he left to go to Long Island and coach the Islanders. Should be a very good, strong, competitive hockey game. This is a series I will be circling to watch. I will be picking the New York Islanders over the Washington Capitals. I think Barry Trotz will coach his team to beat his ex-team. So, I'm going with the Islanders in that round. And then, Boston versus Carolina, rematch of the Eastern Conference Final last year. But Boston, I don't like how they have been playing in the round robin. I am going with Carolina. I think Carolina has a good team. Their goaltending, on the other hand, is iffy, but I will go with Carolina in that matchup. Okay, let's pick the second round, and I'm going to stay in the Eastern Conference. Okay, Philadelphia versus Columbus. I do like Philly in this round, and I like Columbus. I like how they are built with not Barry Trotz. I said Barry Trotz so much in this one, but I do like Tortorella as a coach for Columbus. But I think Philly moves on to the Eastern Conference Final. I think they're a good team. They're young. They have experience with Giroux. I think Philadelphia knocks out the Columbus Blue Jackets in round 2. And then Carolina versus the Islanders. Should be a very good matchup between these two teams. A defensive heavy team in the Islanders and an offensive power in Carolina. I like the goaltending better in the Islanders, so I'm picking the Islanders to beat the Philadelphia Flyers. Let's stay with the bottom tier of the bracket. I'm going to take the Vancouver versus Calgary matchup. I think Calgary, I already said it, I think they could go far. I like their build on their roster. They're a good team. They have a lot of talent. They underachieved in the regular season, yes, but I think Calgary knocks out the Vancouver Canucks. The Canucks are just a little bit young. They're trying to find themselves where they sit going forward. So I have Calgary moving on to the Western Conference Final. Oh, Blackhawks versus Avalanche. This should be an interesting one. I will love to see a Calgary versus Blackhawk Eastern Conference Final, but I'm being realistic here. I would love to see the Hawks move on to the conference final to try to make it back to the Cup, but we're still young. We're trying to gain experience. We have nothing to lose for in this playoff this year. I have to go with Colorado, though. I think Colorado is probably the best team in the West. How they're built from depth all the way up to star talent. So Colorado moves on to the conference final. So let's pick the Eastern Conference Final champions, just because I like the West a little bit more. Just because I am a fan of a team in the Western Conference. That's the main reason. Okay. Eastern Conference Final. Philly versus Islanders. Matchup, if you ask me in the beginning of the year, yeah, that probably wouldn't happen. I could see Philly do it because they're young and they're actually a good build for a roster. Islanders, I like their roster, but their scoring is too lackluster, so I'm going with Philadelphia here. I think they have the better goaltending, better defense, and better offense. And then the Western Conference, Calgary versus Colorado. A rematch of the first round last year. And I like Colorado. They were my pick at the beginning of the year to win the Stanley Cup. So I basically gave that away. This 2020 Stanley Cup will go to the Colorado Avalanche. Should be a good matchup. I have to pick how many goals will be scored in the Stanley Cup final. I am saying 22. I think that should be a good matchup. Good teams all around. I like Colorado. I've had them as my pick to win the cup at the beginning of the year. And Philadelphia, they're young. They will be back probably soon. But I think Colorado comes out as the 2020 Stanley Cup champion to win their third in franchise history. Now we pick the games for the first round. Okay, Hawks versus Knights. I like the Hawks. I had them winning. I have them in 7. Colorado versus Arizona. I like Colorado enough to get them in 6, but Arizona has a good defensive team. I think it goes 6 games here. Dallas versus Calgary. I'm going with 6 again. I think that's a series that could go the distance as well, but I think 6 is the safer bet for that series. And then St. Louis versus Vancouver. I have Vancouver winning, and I think it goes in 7. St. Louis is the defending champions. I don't think they will want to get knocked out pretty early, like in a 4 or 5 gamer. So 7 games is a safe bet for me with Vancouver. This series, I do have Philly in 5. Jackets versus Tampa. Jackets in 7. Washington versus Islanders. Islanders in 6. And Boston versus Carolina. I'll say Carolina in 5. Why not? I think that's a good pick right there. So, those are my how many games it will take for the bracket challenge for each team. And I have just submitted it to the bracket for the league, and that was me picking my bracket for us to save the Stanley bracket challenge. So I hope you joined the bracket challenge, and if you enjoyed watching me make this bracket, let's get back. I do hope you enjoyed me making my bracket. It was a lot of fun. I hope you guys also join the bracket challenge. Link down below again in the comment section below, because I think it will be fun to do a bracket challenge with you guys. So, thank you for watching the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, let's go Hawks! In Vegas, we're coming for you.